What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Thursday morning edition of the PrizePicks Prop Show here at FTNFantasy.com. My name is Zach Graham, aka Kawaisenberg DFS. No video today, but we've got the audio figured out. Shout out to Alex once again for helping me test that in the last 10 minutes. I promise we will be back. You can see my pretty face next Monday, but today and tomorrow, I think it's just going to be audio only. And man, this is where I want to start here today. Nice, easy wins for the overs on Tiger and Phil's bogeys. Alex, I'm about to get a number of underdog notifications that we just made some cash over there on UD. So shout out to Alex for the PGA picks. A couple of those 3-day long entries coming through for us over there on Underdog. Hugo in here. Good to see Hugo. Appreciate you letting me know that the audio is in fact working today. So just in case that changes, we're going to try to get through this quickly, but I've got a number of picks here, actually spanning 3 different sports here today. I need a haircut, Hugo, so we got to get that on the books in the next couple days as well. Let's get to some of the picks, and you can see up here on the screen, I've got the MLB PrizePicks tool here at FTNFantasy.com, and I'm just going with the top 2 plays in the tool. We got to get on these pretty quickly because some early starts here today on our Thursday afternoon MLB slate. So first, we're looking at Reynaldo Lopez taking on the Orioles today and taking a more than selection on his fantasy point prop of 23.5. You can see the FTN data model has him for a hair over 30 PrizePicks fantasy score here today. So we're going to slot in Reynaldo there, giving us a 72% win percentage in the tool. And then we're also going to go to the second strongest pick here in the tool this morning, Nestor Cortes for the Yanks taking on the Royals. Obviously not quite as strong there. His line, 25 fantasy score, and similar to Reynaldo, their projection just a hair above 30 fantasy score. So the 2 MLB picks here from the tool in Lopez and Cortes. And then in my chats with the great Alex Blickel this morning, he is also on Tanner Hawk, more than 5.5 strikeouts. And so I imagine we can pull that up here as well. You can see the model has him projected for almost 6.5 Ks here this morning. So we'll slot that in as well. That's hovering around a 65% win percentage there in the tool. So with those 3 picks, in win percentage around 29%, but we are not done yet. If you want to get in on some more PGA action this morning, Alex has thrown us the Scotty Scheffler more than 3.5 birdies are better rather. I imagine that is still up here. I'm navigating to my own PrizePicks tab here to make sure that we can still get this prop. And we'll get to PGA. Taking a little while to load for me here. PGA, birdies are better. And there's Scotty Scheffler, more than 3.5 birdies or better. And then this is a team effort here this morning, my friends, because we had the great Chris Meany drop by the Pick'em Games channel this morning, Stanley Cup final, obviously going on right now, and he's got 2 NHL picks for us. But before we jump into that pair of picks from Means, Alex chiming in here on some of this MLB action, saying, for what it's worth, he's guessing that Reynaldo will go up to 24.5 sooner rather than later, in which case Alex would lean more into his more on his strikeouts prop than his fantasy points. So a good note there, and saying, but he loves that 23.5 where it is. And then Alex, if you are still tuned in here, we can have a conversation about what Hugo is bringing up, that Tanner has a 6.5 strikeout demon. And again, that projection a hair under that, but I believe we can go in here, right? We can pull up Tanner again in the tool. We can type in our own demon line there and then put that in. And that's going to give us a 45.6% win rate in the tool on that demon. So I think I don't hate that at all, Hugo. But I would love to hear Alex's take on that. And Albert saying Reynaldo is at 26.5. You may be looking at underdog, Albert, because I am staring at 23.5 pitcher fantasy score right now on PrizePicks for Reynaldo. So let me jump over to an underdog tab here. We'll type in Reynaldo Lopez, and that's exactly what it is, 26.5 fantasy points over there on underdog. So I think in that situation, that's where, like Alex just mentioned, he would prefer the higher on 4.5 strikeouts for Reynaldo Lopez over there on underdog, and the more than 23.5 fantasy score on PrizePicks. So there you go. Yeah, that's, yep. And being on both is very important. And there's Albert. Yep. All right. I appreciate that, y'all. So I'm certainly going to be doing a little bit of a round robin with all of these picks here today. Alex saying he likes the demon, but it's only going to give us that boost from 25 to 30x. So let's jump into those two plays that Chris Meany dropped into the chat. Connor McDavid is the first one, and he likes McDavid for more than 3.5 shots here tonight. And again, I'm certainly no hockey head, but I know that Chris Meany, when he drops those NHL plays into the chat, I tail him every single time, and that has worked out pretty darn well for us over the course of this season. Alex finishing up there, rather just keep it at the 5.5 strikeouts for Tanner, and Hugo agreeing. So second NHL pick after Connor McDavid, all right, more than 3.5 shots. We're going to go to a hits prop for Matthew Tkachuk, and we're going to take more than 3.5 hits for Tkachuk here tonight. I believe this is really I'm really gonna show my ass here about how little I'm paying attention to the Stanley Cup final this year. Game 3, like I thought, but didn't really want to put that out there in case we were in game 2 or 4. Of course, the Panthers with the 2-0 lead there. So game 3, 7:00 tonight, we're going more than 3.5 shots for Connor McDavid, and we are going to go more than 3.5 hits for Matthew Tkachuk. And then we're going to close out today's stream with a couple WNBA picks, and those, I mean, we are rolling again here in the W with the props over the last week. I believe we are 8 in a row now after that disastrous Saturday. So it feels good to be able to bounce back like that. And here's, Hugo. Where are the WNBA plays? Ask and you shall receive, my friend. We're going to start with, of course, the woman that we've all been hearing a ton about. And we're going to go back to Caitlin Clark. Her fantasy score prop right now on PrizePicks is set at 33.5. And I think that's like 2 points too low for this situation. Obviously, Caitlin has had some tough outings to begin her rookie season here in the W. But when we've seen the Fever, again, because the Fever are not a great team, when we see them go up against some of these, I guess, the top tier teams in the league, right? Your Liberties, your Aces. I think it would be fair to say the Lynx this season have been fantastic. Of course, the Connecticut Sun, right? That was the most recent game there for the Fever and Caitlin Clark, and they got absolutely waxed. And they have, I mean, I don't think they have had a very favorable schedule to begin this season. They've already faced the Liberty 3 times, the Sun 3 times, and they caught Vegas on the road. And all but one of those games are double-digit losses for the Fever. And as you can imagine, you see those Caitlin Clark fantasy numbers really take a hit in those games. But when they take on some of the more mediocre to below average teams in the league, that's when you see some of these massive Caitlin Clark performances. 50-plus PrizePicks fantasy score against a team like the Mystics, against a team like the Sparks. Another 48 fantasy score performance against the Sparks, 43 against the Storm. So this is a team tonight taking on the Atlanta Dream. First time that these two teams have met up this season. But again, I think when you see Indiana playing in a game with a close spread, and it is we're in Indiana here tonight. The Dream are 3-point road favorites here, but we've got a very healthy 165 implied total in this one. Just a 3-point spread, should be getting full minutes from Caitlin. And again, I think this is a prop is like 2 points too low at this point. So that is the first WNBA pick of the day. And then, and as a big Aces fan, this, it pains me to take a less than stance on my girl Asia Wilson. But this is just playing into the news that is still pending, that Chelsea Gray, right, former finals MVP, multiple time All-Star, and really the engine of this offense, even though Asia, the best player on both ends, there's no doubt about that. But we've seen the Aces are 500 to start the year, and Gray's absence is certainly a key factor in this slow start. And I want to just point out what Asia Wilson has done in the past in her career when sharing the floor with Chelsea Gray. She's averaging 28.3 points per game this season, and she has been doing that on some above average or above expectation efficiency from three. But the rest of her numbers in terms of her shooting efficiency, they're the same. She's just getting the extra usage. And we talked about this early in the season with Asia when her fantasy point, her points props, all of that stuff was too low for the usage she was seeing without Chelsea Gray going back a season or two. Now with Gray potentially returning, even in a limited capacity, again, 28.3 points per game for Wilson so far this season through 10 games. Last season, 22.8 points. The season prior, when she was the MVP of the league, 19.5 points per game, then 18.3 points. And then she was the MVP of the league again back in 2020, 20.5 points per game. Asia Wilson is a 20.3 point per game player across. This will be her 200th career regular season game tonight. So getting this line at 27 with the potential for Chelsea Gray to be back. She was seen doing a full individual workout pregame last time out for the Aces, ultimately did not play, but upgraded to questionable for tonight. I think it's reasonable to expect her to give it a go here again, even potentially with some limited time. And I like the under there on Asia Wilson, less than 27 points there on PrizePicks. That's good on any of the other sites, Underdog, Sleeper. And of course, I can't leave here without reminding you that if you have not signed up yet at PrizePicks, you can do so by using the promo code FTN at signup. That will give you a 100% deposit match bonus up to $100. You can get the same deal over on Sleepers. If you download the Sleeper app, promo code FTN at signup, you get a 100% deposit match bonus up to $100. And of course, we were talking about Underdog a few minutes ago. At Underdog, if you sign up with the promo code FTN, you're going to get a 50% deposit match bonus, but that's up to $250 on your first deposit. And new customers at Underdog right now, all going to get a special discounted pick at sign up. So promo code FTN gets you the 50% deposit match bonus and the special discount over there at Underdog. So again, I assume, like most days, we will have more picks coming into that Pick'em Games channel of the FTN Fantasy Discord throughout the day. And I'm going to, as I'm entering some of these round robins here this morning, going to be celebrating those Underdog wins. And again, shout out to Alex. That little combo plays that we put together worked out well. And again, if you haven't joined us here yet at FTN Fantasy, you can sign up. You can get access to everything here, about $40 a month. But my favorite thing about when the new site came out and the new pricing came out here at FTN Fantasy is that VIP Plus subscription for an entire year. $299.99. You get access to everything under the FTN Fantasy umbrella, our season-long fantasy content, sports betting, daily fantasy, access to all of our advanced statistics, our projection models, access to all three of our Discord servers, again, which includes that Pick'em Games channel, where we are concocting all of these plays. And man, it felt, like I said, Saturday, we were feeling a little bit down, and boom, this week has just been on fire this week. Hope to keep it going here today on a Thursday. Just running through the picks that we had here. Reynaldo Lopez, more than 23.5 fantasy score on PrizePicks. If you want to look at Lopez over on Underdog, more than 4.5 or higher than 4.5 strikeouts. Nestor Cortez, more than 25 fantasy score. Tanner Houck, more than 5.5 strikeouts. Scotty Scheffler, more than 3.5 birdies. Then from the NHL side of things tonight, game 3, Connor McDavid, more than 3.5 shots. Matthew Tkachuk, more than 3.5 hits. And then from the WNBA 3-game slate tonight, Caitlin Clark, more than 33.5 fantasy score. Asia Wilson, less than 27 points. I appreciate you guys tuning in, sticking with me, bearing with me here with no video, another little delay this morning. But we will be back tomorrow with another edition of the PrizePicks Prop Show here at FTNFantasy.com. Good luck tonight, everybody.